Good day. This is Visual Lesson 3.3 about the topic joint variation. And the learning competency is the learner solves problems involving variation. To solve problems involving joint variations, we should follow the suggested procedures. Number 1. Understand the problem. Read the problem carefully to identify variables in bold. Pay attention to the relationships between the variables. Determine if the problem indeed describes a joint variation relationship. Number 2, identify the variables. Determine which quantities are varying jointly with each other and then assign variables to the quantities involved. Create a table to place the quantities because this will help you determine what needs to be found. Number 3, set up the joint variation statement. Determine which quantities in the problem are varying jointly. Number 4, determine the constant of variation. You will just substitute the given values into the equation and solve for k. Number 5, write the equation of variation. So once you have determined the value of k, all you have to do is to substitute it back into the variation equation, and this will give you a specific equation of variation for the given problem. Number 6 is to solve for the unknown. Use the joint equation of variation to solve for the unknown variable. This might involve algebraic manipulation, substitution, or solving. And number 7, check your final answer. Ensure that your solution satisfies all conditions given in the problem by plugging the values back into the original equation. Make sure the answer is in the correct units. So let's have illustrative example number 1. The volume of a pyramid varies jointly as its height and the area of its base. A pyramid with a height of 12 feet and a base with an area of 23 square feet has a volume of 92 cubic feet. What is the volume of a pyramid with a height of 8 feet and a base with an area of 27 square feet? So now, let's identify the quantities that varies jointly, and that are the volume, height, area of the pyramid's base. And then let's take note of the quantities. So, the first one, a pyramid with a height of 12 feet, a base with an area of 23 square feet, and has a volume of 92 cubic feet, and a base with an area of 27 square feet. So, as required, we need to assign variables for these quantities. So let capital V be equal to the volume of a pyramid, H be height of a pyramid, capital B be equal to base area of a pyramid, and K be equals to constant. So let's create a table. We will put the dependent variable below the table, then the two independent variables. Now, let's identify what is the unknown of the given problem. So sabi sa tanong, what is the volume of a pyramid? So we are talking about the volume. So we will put the question mark here kasi siya yung unknown. And then, let's just plug in this given dito sa ating table. So, ang volume ay 92, ang height ay 12 tsaka 8, then base is 23 and 27. Now, let's formulate the variation statement. Since this is varies jointly, so therefore that is V equals K, H, B. Then, solve for the constant, we will use this one, yung kompleto na values ng ating mga quantities. So, by substitution, we have 92 equals K times 12 times 23. Then, 12 times 23 is equal to 276. Then, divide both sides of the equation by 276 to solve for the value of K. We have now the constant which is equal to 1/3. And then, writing the equation of variation, so we will have V equals 1/3 H B. So, solving for the unknown, ang unknown natin ay volume. So, let's just substitute the values of height and the base area. So, we have V equals 1/3 times 8 times 27. So, tuturuan ko kayo ng isang technique na kung saan hindi kayo magmumultiply at makakahanap kayo ng malaki. Ang tawag dito ay cancellation, cross cancellation, kung saan, kung meron na kayong makikitang divisible sa isa't isa, ay pwede na natin silang i-divide or i-cancel out. So, dito, this time, ang 27 at saka 3 ay pwede nating ma-divide. 27 divided by 3, that is 9. May matitirang 9. Ngayon, wala na sa 3 kasi 3 divided by 3 is 1 na lang. Okay? So, ang gagawin natin, i-multiply natin si 1, si 8, at saka si 9. So, 1 times 8 times 9, that is 72. Kesa, i-multiply pa natin si 8 tsaka si 27, tapos saka natin kukunin yung 1/3. So, sa isang pinakamabilis na computation, pwede tayong mag-cross cancellation. So, therefore, the volume of a pyramid is 72 cubic feet when the base area is 27 square feet and the height is 8 feet. Next example, number 2. The weight of a cylindrical metal varies jointly on its length and the square of the diameter of its base. When the length is 6 cm and the diameter of its base is 3 cm, the weight is 6 kilograms. If the weight is 10 kilograms and the diameter of its base is 6 cm, how long is its length? So let's identify the quantities that varies jointly. So of course, that is the weight, the length, and the diameter. So take note natin lahat ng mga given dito. Sa una, ang length daw ay 6 cm, ang diameter ay 3 cm, at ang weight niya ay 6 kg. Then yung sumunod, meron daw ang weight daw ay 10 kilograms, at ang diameter of its base ay 6 cm. Since length ang hinahanap, wala tayong ilalagay dito. So as required, we need to assign variables for these quantities. So we let W be equal to weight of metal, L be equal to the length, D be equal to the diameter of its base, and K be equal to the constant. Then let's create a table. So we will put the dependent variable W here, and then the two independent variables dun sa taas. Then ang unknown nga ay yung length, so we will put the question mark here dito sa row ng length. Let's input this given sa ating table. So we have the weight, which is 6 and 10. We have the length, which is 6 lang, kasi unknown yung isa. And we have the diameter, 3 and 6. So let's now formulate the variation statement. Sabi dyan, that is varies jointly. So W is equals to KL D squared. Bakit may squared? Take note, the square of the diameter. Then next, solve for constant of variation. We will use this, the complete assigned values of the quantities. So by substitution, we have 6 equals K times 6 times 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. Times 6, that is 54. And divide 54 both sides of the equation. We have now K is equals to 1 over 9. Ito ay hindi po pwedeng ma-divide. So ang ginawa lang dito ay ni lowest term. Since they are divisible by 6, 6 divided by 6 is 1, 54 divided by 6 is 9. Then, write the equation of variation. We will just replace the obtained value of K from the variation statement. So we have W equals 1/3 L D squared. Now, let's solve for the unknown. The unknown is the length. Okay? All you have to do is to substitute. Saka na kayo mag-simplify algebraically. So we have 10 equals to 1 over 9 times L times 6 squared. 6 squared is 36. And if you take note that 36 and 9 ay divisible sa isa't isa, so we can cancel it out. 36 divided by 9 is 4. And 9 divided by 9 is 1. So wala nang matitira. So ang gagawin lang natin, i-multiply natin si 1, si L, at saka si 4. And that is 4L. Then divide both sides by 4. L is now is equal to 2.5 or 5 halves. Kasi 10 over 4 is not divisible to each other. So, ilo-lowest term natin siya. I-divide natin by 2. So, ang 10 divide nyo sa 2 ay 5. Ang 4 divided by mo sa 2 ay 2. So, 5 over 2. That is 2.5. Therefore, the length of a cylindrical metal is 2.5 cm when its weight is 10 kilograms and the diameter of its base is 6 cm. Next example. The time it takes to manufacture a product varies jointly with the number of workers and the number of machines working simultaneously. If it takes 6 hours to manufacture a product with 8 workers and 3 machines, how many machines will be used to manufacture the same product in 4 hours with 2 workers? So, alamin muna kung ano ang mga quantities that varies jointly. That is the time, the number of workers, and the number of machines. So let's take note of the givens. So una, it takes 6 hours to manufacture a product. So that is the time. And then 8 workers and 3 machines. So the unknown is the machine. So wala na tayong ilalagay dito sa katabi ng machine. Pero meron tayong 4 hours and 2 workers. So as required, let's denote time to manufacture as T, number of workers as W, number of machines as M, and the constant of variation, which is K. So by creating a table, let's put the dependent variable below. So we have T, then the independent variable W and M. Ang pinapahanap sa problem ay how many machines. So we will put here the question mark. Alright, then let's input this given. So ang time ay 6 at saka 4, ang workers ay 8 at saka 2, at ang machine ay 3. So let's now formulate variation statement. So since it varies jointly, again, T equals KWM. Then finding the constant, we will use this one. So by substitution, we have 6 equals to K times 8 times 3, and that is 24. Divide both sides by 24. This one, hindi pa rin natin siya madidivide. So ang gagawin lang natin ay maglo-lowest term tayo. Since 6 and 24 are divisible by 6, 6 divided by 6 is 1, 24 divided by 6 is 4. So the constant of variation is 1/4. Then, write the equation of variation. Let's just replace K here by the obtained value. We have T equals to 1/4 WM. Now, let's solve for the unknown. Dito sa ating equation of variation, ang unknown ay M, nandito siya sa loob ng ating equation. So, let's just substitute. We have 4 equals 1/4 times 2 times M. So, ang 1/4 ng 2 ay 1/2. And then, para hindi na tayo mag-divide ng complex fraction, we will multiply 4 and 2 and 1 times M. So, the answer is M equals to 8. So, therefore, 8 machines are needed to manufacture the same product in 4 hours with 2 workers. So, thank you for watching this visual lesson. I hope you understand the lesson about joint variation.